message through your potential customers' ears and eyes.
To learn more about Rolling Meadows Senior Living in Taylorville and the apartments they have available, click on their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Jansen's Heating and Air is the home of Dr. Comfort, focusing on customer care for heating and air conditioning across Central Illinois for some 35 years. Find out their services, specials, and coupons by clicking their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM listeners from Witt to Shelbyville and Awanaco to Ramsey can now hear your information station even clearer at a new place on the FM dial. WTIM now has an additional dial position at 107.9, transmitting at some 280 feet from a tower on the south edge of Pana. Hear the latest local news and agriculture information, swap shop, and more in southern Christian, northern Fayette, and eastern Montgomery counties from WTIM. Even better now at 107.9 FM. Set a button on your radio for WTIM in the Pana area now at 107.9 FM.
WTIM. Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, with our first morning show segment here with Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. First and foremost, good morning to you, Jim. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back and glad to have you. And in terms of what we want to talk about, I think the first place to go with it is certainly the only place to go with it first. Renovations, getting a new space. I want to hear from your mouth and with your words how this is going to benefit you. I know new recording rooms, new interview rooms, all types of things. Take me through it. Take me through the gauntlet of all that work that's been done.
Sure. Well, like we've had in the past episodes, we had a 3-phase, $2.1 million jail renovation that the county board allocated for the jail. The jail being dated and needing some repairs, we looked at it and started a 3-phase project. And one of those being the roof at the correctional facility is completed. And then phase 2 is the Market Street. And the Market Street was part of getting additional space within the correctional facilities, and also us basically acquiring a space of 7,800 square feet at the old 214 Market Street, which was previously the zoning and solid waste building, or a lot of people that may be listening recall it as the old Ameren building. But by us moving in there, it's been a huge upgrade to the services that we are now able to provide the community. Like you mentioned, what we done was we moved the chief deputy, the sheriff, the investigations, patrol, and clerical staff over to Market Street. And with that, we was able to gain, with that 7,800 square feet, there were a couple things that we were previously lacking that we didn't have, that we relied on Taylorville to help with or something. And part of that was the 2 investigation rooms, or audio recorded rooms, if you will. For certain crimes, you have to audio and video them. So we was able to acquire those in the space with minimal renovations. Additionally, we now have separate investigation work areas where they used to share a room. So they've got offices that they can now interview people separately, things of that nature. And a larger deputy squad room. We used to have 2 workstations. We've expanded that to 4 now, giving us a lot better working space for the deputies on a daily routine. And then additionally, we always struggled when it comes to deputies meetings. They have union meetings that they conduct, or just overall training. And we never really had a space for that. And by acquiring this building, we now have approximately 1,500 square feet conference and training room that's in the basement. Additionally, the addition of a new evidence storage room, we gained a large space there to where we had outgrown the previous evidence space. And what we're now doing is vetting those older cases. We'll be bringing that evidence over to the new building. And obviously, it gives us the chance to have secure video key fob to enter. It records when people go in and out, just for overall security of the evidence.
Record keeping of who is in the records. I can understand maybe a need for that. That's a lot going on for you guys, and a lot of improvements, a lot of well-needed upgrades. You mentioned 3 phases: the jail and the roof being put on, and then Market Street with the zoning solid waste building and moving into that space. The third phase being
So the third phase is now we'll go back to the correctional facility. And there again, the goal wasn't to get a nice new office, but we was able to utilize the previous office spaces. Like my office is tied to the deputy squad room. And what we will be doing is converting that space in the current facility at 301 West Market to allow for a new intake area that's going to be safer for the detainees. It's safer for the employees. All of those attributes will come into play. That we will also be gaining a medical storage and facility, a medical room, if you will, that's going to allow for us to store meds in a secure location and overall just have a better intake and booking for the jail. So that in itself will take place. Will probably start sometime in April.
Okay.
It is something that there's a long list of items that will take place in phase 3 that will be a lengthy, probably a year-long project. Some of those things are a comprehensive sprinkler system to address life safety measures throughout the building. That's going to require putting in, new security ceiling for the sprinkler system, and like I mentioned, an updated booking and intake area. But more importantly, the idea behind it was to also look at what we could do to fix the infrastructure. We have things like old clay pipes, copper tubing that's deteriorated over the years, just basically addressing those infrastructures.
And then, if you're going to beautify it, we'll say put all these new items in, systems in, sprinklers, security ceiling, like you mentioned. Probably got to have some of the basics down as well with that. A couple of things that you mentioned from that previous deal with moving over to 214 West Market Street. You mentioned the 2 audio recording rooms and the need for those and not having those previously. How is that going to benefit your workflow to be able to have those right in-house?
So I would say the benefits not only of acquiring the new building, and to answer your question, it's going to be more efficient. We have the building designed to where if you interview somebody, you may have a victim up in the front office area. We've got a waiting area. They may be up there, or they may be in a secluded investigator's room. What we can now do is bring these, say you have a suspect that you want to interview, and it is a crime that requires it to be audio and video recorded. We can bring them in, say, through the back of the building. They're out of view of the others. And to explain these audio and video recording rooms, they're small. We took one room, divided it up into 2 boxes, and they are built with double walls, approximately 8 inches thick, with insulation in between and a sound barrier, soundproofing on the ceiling. And they're designed to where when you walk in, you'll be able to flip a switch that's up about arm's length up out of the way, protected by a cover plastic shield. And when you turn that on, your light will come on, then you'll have your audio and video recording. So efficiency wise, we won't be going to asking TPD, to the police department, to borrow their equipment, their use, and then having them be burdened with downloading it and providing it with us. We'll all be able to do that all in-house. And so just simply having that availability for that new technology is a huge asset to basically better serving the community and or the citizens that are involved in, a victim to a crime. So that's one of the things that we're really excited about, to be able to have those rooms.
Got to be excited about getting a new place to be. That first and foremost is going to just streamline all your processes. And that's all I can help but think is, okay, it's in-house. It's not leaving the building.
Yes.
It doesn't have a chance for mishandling outside of the building. Any of those things, for a fact, you've got your 1, 2s, and 3s down there. Larger deputy rooms. Yeah, 4 of them now for you compared to the 2 previously. You were going to say something.
Yeah, so I was going to say, just like anybody out there that's went from a small home to a bigger home, you say, well, what's the benefits? It's like it can have some nice bells and whistles, but when it comes down to it, just having space, having more room, if you will, back when we was in the other building, we had to work with what we had, but we was limited in space. And so you think in a year's time, or your current operating, a lot of times the court will call and say, hey, we need this report. Well, we was limited into space to where you would have to store stuff in the basement of the old building. We now have a storage file room that is right down the hall from investigations, so they can retrieve that quickly and efficiently. And just utilizing the space that is going to make everything more efficient. And location wise, I just out of curiosity, I checked it out, and it's like 125 yards from the back door of the Market Street address to the front door of the correctional facility. And we knew it wasn't far. You could look out the window or out the front door and you could see it. When the county proposed this, we thought, yeah, we could utilize that. Well, then we found as this goes on, logistically, there's a lot of things that we had to adjust. Daily paperwork between the two buildings. It's just a learning curve for us. But one of the benefits I see is I'm in the middle. I'm approximately 250 yards to the lawn of the courthouse and 125 yards the opposite direction to the jail. So now I'm basically in the middle of the hub, if you will, between the two buildings that we most operate out of, and it's a great opportunity.
You're centralized almost much more now.
Yes.
So, and to have that, if needed at a moment's notice in either of those two places, you are right there. And then folks, TPD is right off the square.
Yes.
You've got the courthouse in the middle of the square, the correctional facility, again, just right there. And then now your office at 214 West Market Street, everything is right there. You know where you the people you need are. So I think for the community too, I think that provides a lot of benefit to tie it back to that as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and with future plans, we do have that conference room that seats about 40, and the hope is to get connected with the MTU mobile training unit and get set up to where we can now have regional training, not only for us and TPD or the villages in the county, but you'll have people that can send officers to, let's say they have a breathalyzer class and they bring the equipment in, we do the training there, and you'll have it would be more conducive for people like Payne PD or even outside agencies of the county. You could have people that might send somebody from Springfield or Decatur down to the training room that we would host a regional training. So we're excited about being able to do that, to have our guys trained in-house, but open the door up for other agencies to come and network with us and surrounding communities.
I was going to say, I saw that piece attached at the end of the story that Leroy had written here for Taylorville Daily News. And then you think about opening the doors to the training, just the larger space for storage, evidence, all the likes. It seems like something that was well needed. So I'd like to talk more to you about just all those upgrades and how they plan to be utilized, and also the benefit that it'll bring to you as a whole, and then the community as well. But Jim, we've taken 12 minutes here. We're going to go ahead and take our first break. I'm joined by Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. We'll be talking more renovations, upgrades, and the move to 214 West Market Street when we come back on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. When you become a member of TCCU, you become an owner and have access to our great loan rates, earn great dividends on our deposit accounts, have access to our full range of financial products, and will receive personal attention from people you know. Membership is open to anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, and Shelby County. We are conveniently located in Taylorville, Hillsboro, Litchfield, and Pana. You can also visit us online at www.tccu.org. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
Brian Barnhart here, the voice of the Fighting Illini, inviting Illini Nation to listen for Fighting Illini sports this season on New Country 104.1. From every kickoff during football season to the closing horn of every basketball game, you'll hear them in Christian County and surrounding area on your home for Fighting Illini sports, New Country 104.1. Follow the orange and blue and go Illini.
Brought to you by Prairie Farms Dairy, Bob Ridings Pana, Aaron's Rent to Own, and Adam Jeffrey with Craig's Realtors, both in Taylorville.
Have you noticed that as you grow older, your doctor's physicals become much more physical?
Boy, do they.
As the years add up, we're presented with a plethora of supplemental poking, prodding, and probing.
But what's true for your digestive system is also true for your comfort system.
Is your AC getting up in years?
When's the last time it had a physical?
March is the prime time to plan ahead and let Jansen's Heating and Air prepare your seasoned senior system for another sweaty summer with a pre-season tune-up and efficiency boost.
It doesn't matter if your current AC is 5 or 15 years old.
Jansen's Super Summer Preseason Tune-Up, Checkup, Stress Test, and Efficiency Boost is the perfect prescription for improved longevity, stamina, vital signs, and virility.
Well, for your air conditioner, that is.
Sorry, fellas, you're on your own.
Schedule your preseason Super Summer Tune-Up and Efficiency Boost today.
Call Jansen's Heating and Air, 562-5201.
JansensHeating.com.
If rash develops, please discontinue use.
Have your own apartment and enjoy 3 home-cooked meals a day at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, where they encourage independence and enrich lives. You can socialize with friends and ride the bus to many local activities. Taylorville Estates Assisted Living residents are treated like family. Check for vacancies or get on the waiting list by contacting Administrator Tony Clark. Stop by or call 824-2222. That's 824-2222. Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, encouraging independence, enriching lives.
The Craig's Realtor team closed more sales in 2024 in Christian County than anyone else and gained market share. Owner Steve Craig's here. Our sales and our team continue to grow. Let us work for you by clicking on my icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Carl Krumsick here from Krumsick Monument Company in Taylorville, Illinois. Find out the many services we provide by clicking our icon on the obituaries page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. We're brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. It's the morning show and segment number 2 of our second interview of the day. We're joined by Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office, and we've been talking all about the renovations to the existing facilities, and now we're talking about the move over to 214 West Market Street as well. But there are some key points and some things that are changing with those changes that we want to make sure that we talk about. Jim, can you take me through those, whether it's a phone number, after hours, whatever the case might be? What do we need to know there?
Yeah, you brought up a good point. You know, part of the move was it allowed us to interact with all the other county agencies. We before was a, if you will, a separate entity, and now we're on the same phone system, same phone extensions, things of that nature that the rest of the county are in. With that being said, I did want to make the public aware that there's a new phone number. You can always call the 824-4961 number, which would be now the correctional facility and dispatch. They're still in that building. They have the opportunity to transfer it to us, but you can also, to get it out to the public, the biggest thing is, because it is now internet fixed phones, and basically you can dial the 217-777-4961, and that's 777-4961, and you'll then get the new building at 214 Market Street. Then you'll get the prompt just like before. It's an updated phone system that we didn't have before, and you'll be able to pick your extensions. If you know those parties' extensions, it'll give you those things. So that's the big thing, is to get everybody used to. You still have 2 options: the old number, or now the 777-4961, a direct line to the 214 Market Street. Additionally, there's things logistically that we had to overcome as we're doing this, that you try and think, as me being, if you will, the project manager of this entire thing. That was one of the things we put it out to bid. It come in a little over, so then I brought it back and basically took it over hands-on to get it out locally, and tried to think logistically of all the things we need. Well, you think of things, it's like, okay, well, we're there, dispatches in Market, or in Franklin Street, and then at Market Street, there's somebody there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. But let's say you show up at 8:30 at night and you have you want to file a complaint, or you just need deputies' assistance. There is a call box outside the building, and when you push that button, it will then buzz over to Franklin Street. The dispatcher would then ask you what you're there for, and if it's that you need assistance from a deputy of any form, crash, criminal complaint, anything, or assistance, they will then dispatch the deputies to show up there and meet you after hours if they're out patrolling. Obviously during the day, office staff is there, myself, the sheriff, the clerical, but then at 4 o'clock and after, you would push the call button and it'll connect to the sheriff's office. So that was one of the big things that we wanted to get out. There is a way that we can communicate. They can actually open the door from remotely to let you into the front office area in inclement weather until we arrive. You can't get past the foyer or the visiting area, if you will. So then the big thing is I want to make sure that the public is aware that on Friday, April 18th, from noon to 4, we're going to have an open house. Public's welcome and encouraged to attend. They'll get to take a tour of the facility, see the new operations, get accustomed with it. And, there's a hanging sign that you see when you come down Market Street, and then the vinyl sticker on the front window that I believe I provided you for the social media for this. But looking forward to seeing the public out there to come see the building.
Keep in mind, April 18th, noon to 4 p.m., open house. After hours, there is a call box. It is outside of the sheriff's office at the new location. It'll take you over to dispatchers at Franklin Street, and they'll get you somebody there. I love that you also thought about getting that opened up if inclement weather is out there and get you indoors and ready for it. Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office joining us here on the WTIM Morning Show. Don't forget the Christian County Sheriff's IL app is available to you on your mobile devices app store as well to keep up with them. Thank you so much for joining me, Jim. This has been your WTIM Morning Show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
The Justice Department playing hardball with a federal district judge over the administration's deportation policies. An executive order expected to be signed today by President Trump could set the stage for a constitutional showdown. The order abolishes a congressionally created Department of Education. Used home sales rose 4.2% last month from January. That, according to the National Association of Realtors. However, sales fell 1.2% compared with February of a year ago. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 208 points. The Nasdaq ahead 106. More details, srnnews.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month. Level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for a new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 800-786-9161. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-786-9161. Remember, 1-800-786-9161. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
With SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. NBA action last night. The league's two top teams were on the court again last night, and again, split results. The Kings tripped up the East leading Cavaliers 123-119. The Cavs lose a half game against second-place Boston.
WTIM. This is Grayson Bauman reporting. A lawsuit filed against the Taylorville Chamber of Commerce has had an amended complaint added to it from Linda Allen. Allen maintains that she was illegally fired from her position as executive director of the chamber and that there was retaliation against her. Her original lawsuit named Crystal Baker as chairwoman and Mike Mann as board member, and now has added John J.I. McDowell to the lawsuit as a board member and founding member of Smalltown Taylorville's marketing initiative. Regional Radio News has received new information that Allen alleges that on February 28th, there was a conversation held at Angelo's Pizza, which is owned by McDowell. The conversation was held over these certificates of insurance, which Allen says were illegal and fraudulent. Allen reported that they were fraudulent and said that this is why she was terminated. During the conversation, Allen reports that McDowell expressed concern over small-town Taylorville president Steve Craig's being mad at the chamber over these certificates. According to Allen, an unnamed witness who was present at the discussion attested that J.I. McDowell acknowledged concerns over the improper use of DBA small town Taylorville, but pressured Linda Allen to refrain from further action, as it would upset Craigs. According to the lawsuit, the witness claimed that McDowell told Allen to protect the chamber and also made derogatory comments about Craigs. In this new information, Allen alleges that J.I. McDowell directly participated in and contributed to the wrongful termination, retaliation, and intimidation against her. View the amended complaints filed in Christian County Circuit Court on Monday at links we posted in this story on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. People's Bank and Trust in Pana is celebrating 2 notable promotions and 3 new names in key roles. Sierra Spears and Ashley Basso are being promoted, while People's Bank and Trust welcomes Kayla Sane, Kara Push, and Matthew Harris to its leadership. Sierra Spears will serve as Assistant Vice President, Consumer Banking. She will work with customers in the Arcola branch area.